What's up, AK fam? Welcome to your forfeit breakdown. This is day 1 of week 1, so we're going to hit our leg breakdown today. Right now, I'm going to use 10s for our demos just so I can slow some of the movements down and not injure myself along the way. So typically on a leg day, I have my dumbbells are arranged from 10 to 20s. So just listen to your body as you move along the process, what weights feel good for you. And then if you ever have any questions or any other comments that you are curious about, just drop a comment and I can get back to you as soon as possible. All right, let's start with our dumbbell swings. So if you've ever done a kettlebell swing, they're the same thing except for the use of a dumbbell over a kettlebell. So to start, I'm gonna start from the ground up. My feet are a little wider than hip distance. Heels in, toes are slightly angled out. Now I'm gonna grab the dumbbell head, let the other head hang nice and heavy. As I shift my hips back, I'm gonna bend my knees and let the weight swing through my thighs. Then I'm gonna press the hips forward, let the weight swing up to shoulder height. My power is coming from the lower body, specifically the glutes and the hips, all right? So take an inhale as you lower, gaze follows on the way down. On the exhale, you push the hips forward, let that weight come up to shoulder height. Lower and lift. So you're feeling this through the glutes, you're feeling this through the core. However, big thing to note, on the way down, have control as the weight comes back down to center. When we start to release and let the weight just swing on its own, this can put a lot of tension in the low back and cause a lot of discomfort. Maybe not you're feeling it now, but you'll feel it later. So we really want to make sure that we're controlling it on the way down, because if we let that weight just fall down, we're releasing that engagement through the low back. We're not using this anymore. So really want to make sure that backside's still engaged, lower it down, come right back up from that next rep. All right, next movement, wide stance squat. I'm gonna grab both dumbbells. Similar stance to the last one, but feet are a little bit wider. Heels in, toes out again. I'm gonna take my weights long. As I lower down, I'm digging through my heels, squeezing the thighs, breath in here. On the exhale, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the core, press all the way up. I'm keeping my chest lifted, and I'm pushing the tailbone down towards the floor. Oftentimes, we can push that tailbone back and poke the booty out. We start to feel the looseness of that low back, again, causing that low back pain and irritation. So I really want to make sure everything surrounding the core and the booty is activated right now. Slowly lower down so we can be honest about, in our depth, that we still have the activation within the muscles. A lot of time we fall into the squat and then just push back up, and you're not getting the full effect or the full benefit of the movement. So that's why on there I have that 3 count tempo down with a 1 up. So it's a 3, 2, 1, lift. It's just to keep you honest and make sure that you're really squeezing and activating the muscles. All right, next are hip hinges. Grabbing both weights for this. Similar to a deadlift, however, we're not bending the knees as much as a deadlift. Feet start about hip distance apart. My weights are right in front of the thighs with the palms facing in. As I lower down, I'm keeping my hips up, slight bend in knees. Slowly lowering down just to about halfway of the shin. And then I pull with the backside, my glutes, my hamstrings to stand all the way back up. It's an inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Last thing, if you feel like you're really reaching for the floor like this, rounding the spine, feeling that aggravation through the low back, drop the weights for me. Take a forward fold. From here, take an inhale to a halfway lift, press the hands into the shins, lengthen through the upper body, and then take your hands to heart center. Once you feel that here, that's pretty much the depth of your hinge. Arms will go down, stand all the way back up. All right, so you can take a few of those halfway lifts to get that activation through the backside, through the core, through the glutes, just to make sure you're holding yourself in the proper areas without overextending and feeling that aggravation through the low back. All right, last one from standing here is our alternating reverse lunge. Both weights again. Feet start about hip distance apart. Make sure you have space behind you. I shift the weight into my right heel to start. Right foot will stay. Left foot will step back. Now, from here, I'm digging through my front heel, squeezing my front thigh, standing all the way back up. Shift the weight into the other heel first, then step back. Press through front heel and thigh, come all the way back up. So as we continue side to side, inhale as you step back, exhale as that burst up. Notice how most of the weight is shifted into my front foot. My chest is slightly leaning forward. All right, let's move on over to our hip thrusts. So one of two ways you can do this. I like to place my shoulders on top of my couch, or you can come onto the ground and just do this as a hip thrust, like a bridge from the floor. I'll show you both ways. First, I'm gonna start with the couch. So I like to set up sitting all the way down first. Then I'll take my weights to my hips. From here, walk the feet in, feet about hip distance apart. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Then lifting up, shoulders on top of your couch. Now start to walk the feet out so that the heels are right under your knees. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, press, squeeze into the glutes. Notice how I'm trying to keep a nice straight line from the crown of my head to my tailbone. So rather, instead of arching that back and causing that irritation through the low spine in lifting, I can keep my core surrounded with strength and activation the whole time. Focusing on that squeeze of the booty at the top. I'll just remove one dumbbell this time for our single leg. Same setup, but this time we'll lift one leg. As I press up, I hover that left leg high, lower, and lift, focusing on my right side. From there, you'll just move over to the other side. Let's head to the floor for a variation if you don't feel comfortable using the couch or you just have discomfort with putting your shoulder blades on top of something for hip thrust. I have plenty of clients that feel that way. Totally normal. Let's take it all the way down to the floor. Weights on top of hips, feet about hip distance apart, head down, shoulder blades down. Now, biggest thing to note as I lift my hips, I don't want to hit the ground again. From here, I just want them to hover. Then exhale, pressing all the way up into that bridge. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now, I have a slight scoop of the hips under, so when I come down, notice how the booty's not leading. It's more of that mid to low back that's leading towards the mat. And then you should be able to lift your head with ease. If you feel like you are unable to lift the head with ease, you're probably putting too much pressure into the head, less in the shoulders, and just try to lighten that up for me. Release one dumbbell. I'm gonna do the left side this time so I can stay even. Weight's gonna be on that left hip. Hover the hips, then lift that right leg, lower, lift all the way up. All right, those are your movements for week 1, day 1 leg day. If you have any questions, comments, or you're not quite feeling it in the areas that I'm expressing, feel free to drop a comment. I want you to do it the right way. I want you to feel it the way we're supposed to. So I will respond as soon as I can to any comments that you have. All right, you guys, enjoy the workout. Have a great day.